We've raised it a number of times here. Question. And it would be a yes, no, probably with a statement, probably with a rebuttal, probably with the entire thing. So, are you in favor of the carbon tax? And we're back to you, Laurel.
Excellent. So the carbon tax is federal. Whether we're in favor of it or not is irrelevant. It's coming from the federal government, and what we need to do is find the best way for Ontario to benefit from it. And right now, the carbon tax is not being downloaded on you as consumers. It is being levied on our biggest polluters, and they are allowed to trade credits so that other companies can reduce. So through our cap and trade program, we've been able to invest in retrofitting our schools so they're greener, and in building more transit, like the GO train. These are the things that cap and trade will fund. It's coming, whether you like it or not, the carbon tax. So let's find the best way to use it, and Liberals are the only ones with a solid plan that benefits us as consumers and residents in Ontario. I've already got my Nest thermostat that's paid for by cap and trade. You can go to Green On and click on that, and they'll come to your home and do an energy audit and let you know whether you need new windows or a new furnace, and show you the credits for that. And that's all thanks to cap and trade. Thank you.
No, I'm not in favor of the carbon tax. The carbon tax is a revenue-generating mechanism for the federal government. It is not going to help the environment. In order to actually to produce the kinds of change in behavior that it says it's going to, you'd have to raise it at such a level that it would be unaffordable by anybody. Ontarians are already paying too much in tax. We will scrap the cap and trade, which will take 4.5 cents off your gas bill. We also announced today that we're going to reduce gas prices by 10 cents a liter. But no, I am not in favor of the carbon tax. We need to work with industries and with people to change behavior to have environmental benefits, but it does not start by adding more to the tax burden of Ontarians who are already overburdened by tax.
No, I'm totally against carbon tax. I realize the importance of green energy and green initiatives. Yes, they have to be done wisely, and they have to be done in a manner that will not affect you too much. I know that only about 30% of the carbon tax money are really going where they're supposed to be. The rest are just siphoned off to other programs. Why? And the fact that, as Laura said, the producer will not pass this tax on to the consumer, are you sure? Are you sure it's not already in the price of the goods you're buying? I'm not.
I'm totally opposed to the carbon tax. I want to tell you one thing. Canada's carbon footprint, according to the United Nations, is 1.5%, 1.56% of the world total. That's less than international shipping, which is 1.9. Ontario's carbon footprint is 0.46% of the world total. If Ontario shut down completely, it wouldn't mean a thing in the big picture. So I'm totally opposed to it. And if someone tells you that that money that's being paid in the cap and trade isn't going into the cost of the goods that you're buying, then I'm sorry, but there's a big mistake. Every single thing in this room has got a carbon footprint someplace in its manufacture or its distribution. And those businesses aren't going to suck that up and take it off their bottom line. They're going to pass it along, plus another 10%.
The NDP sees supporting greenhouse gas reduction emissions as essential to fighting climate change. We support the cap and trade to move forward in that direction to a zero carbon future, but we need to do a just transition. We do need, the problem we have with the current way it's being administered is the lack of transparency and the lack of fairness. What we want to see is 25% of the cap and trade revenues be taken and put into supporting individuals and communities that have disproportionate burdens as a consequence of the high prices. Plus, we need to mandate the Ontario Energy Board to monitor the price of gasoline across Ontario, devising policies to address where there is price volatility and disproportionate burdens there.
Thank you. Laura.
Thanks. So cap and trade's been in place for a year. We have not seen the skyrocketing prices that the fearmongers to my left are going on about. We have seen, and it's charged. So the 4 cents that Caroline's talking about is not per liter. So I mean, let's get our facts straight on this. But the most important thing is, I hope you all remember where cap and trade started, with Caroline's father, right? With acid rain. So I would like to know whether Caroline's standing with her father and his cap and trade that helped reduce acid rain, or with her leader Doug Ford, who wants to scrap it.
Well, I'm very proud of my father's environmental legacy. He's Canada's greenest Prime Minister, and so I'm very proud of that. But I can tell you, Laura Lee, that the job of a provincial government is to stand up for what's right for the people of the province of Ontario. And you alluded earlier, you said earlier that it's a federal program and it's coming whether we like it or not, and that's not the case. The case is that we need to stand up for what's right for the people of Ontario. People are suffering, like, become so unaffordable as a result of Liberal policies over the last 15 years. And to take on and accept another tax is unconscionable. People live in rural ridings, they're driving trucks, they're commuting, and they just can't get around that. We have got to make life, we've got to do everything we can to make life more affordable and not accept another tax.
Here, here.
Here I concur with Caroline. Who says that we as a provincial government, we cannot go, even if, let's say, it will be federal, it will come or not. Who says that we shouldn't go back to the federal government, shake their ivory tower and say, hey, why do that? I was reading this morning, I was looking at some graphs in New York Times actually, and they had projections for carbon projections. And you know what I saw there? For Canada, what Canada committed to do was something like this, and the graph going down. What China committed to do on the opposite side for the future was something like this, and the graph going up. Why? Why is the federal government not taking any position on that?
You know, it's funny, the three places where you have cap and trade, California, Ontario, Quebec. The three jurisdictions that are most indebted in entire North America. They're up to their eyeballs in debt. And so they use the very nice thought of green, and this is the excuse to raise the taxes. Now there's a guy in California who's buying carbon credits. He doesn't use them all because he's having a slow year or whatever. And then there's a fellow in Ontario, and he's using more than he needs. So what's he doing? He's buying them from the guy in California. So guess where your tax dollars are going? You're paying for the extra carbon in the production of every single thing, and that money's going to that guy in California. Welcome to cap and trade.
Yeah, the last speaker, my friend David here, gave an interesting scenario, but I don't know where that's actually happening quite that way. That's why we're calling for increased transparency. That's precisely why we're calling for it, because we don't know what's happening to the funds. We want to take, let's go back with what we're trying to accomplish with this whole goal. We're trying to reduce our overall carbon consumption in the country, in the province. And so cap and trade is one of the methods we can use for that. We want to take some of the funds for that and allow the continuation of house retrofitting programs so that individuals and communities can continue to reduce their carbon usage and carbon production. That's what we're about, not arguing back and forth on which form of carbon taxation are we going to accept or fight.